Hello, everybody. Welcome to T-Fro Talking Florida. Occasionally, it's been a while. I am here. Welcome, Mike Gomez. How you doing, Mike?
Doing great when I can talk about rugby with you, Charlie.
Okay, that's good to know. So we're restarting the podcast after a few months, maybe, and hopefully you'll be seeing these ugly faces on Sundays at 7 p.m. during the season. Hopefully. So welcome, everybody. This podcast has started in the year 2020, so we're not in season, actually technically number 6. And what we wanted to do today is basically do a little preview of all the championships that are going to be starting, not all of them but most of them, on Saturday, and just get a view of how the season is looking. Before that, I want to, as many of you know, I have a ongoing campaign of contributions, and I just want to really thank everybody who has done so up to now, especially the clubs, which I have a few that you can see there. And this is just a very simple system to make a small donation to keep this going. At that link you see there in the bottom, rugbyfl.com, buy me a coffee. It's very easy and really appreciated. We also are going to need some sponsors for the podcast. So some of you are going to be receiving messages soon. And last but not least, I want to give a shout out to Valentina, my daughter, which is my fan number 1. She never misses a podcast, and she actually goes and watches it again after. Valentina, beso y gracias. Mike, you want to give a shout out to your mom or somebody?
Uh, sure. Shout out to my mom. She'll never watch this. Shout out to my fiance Natalie for letting me do this on
Oh my God,
my
she's a
one
hero.
non-training night of the week.
She's a
And
hero.
anybody anybody else who's watching, thanks for your time.
Okay, so we can before we just dive into the actual championships, let's just mention a couple of things that I think are worth mentioning. That uh, like for the season, one of them is that this year the union has decided to schedule times for the games, which are in many cases not our typical standard 2 p.m. games. And Mike, maybe you can explain the reason for that.
I mean, first of all, like, why? Who made 2 p.m. a standard, right?
Yeah,
Like,
man, we should play at night.
Friday nights, if your travel is less than, Friday nights, if your travel is less
Oh
than an
man,
hour and you have
beautiful.
lights, absolutely. I mean, there's no better feeling than getting your weekend back than waking up Saturday morning being like, I don't have, I don't have rugby. Like, oh, this is
It
nice.
just hurts. It just
Yeah,
hurts.
it just hurts, but then you have Sunday too, so it's great. Um, and then yeah, like 2 p.m., like people got to travel after the game. Then they're not going to stick around for the social. So if we've always done it this way, is your reason for doing something, then I challenge you to challenge yourself, and find a new way. But yeah. Lots of thought processes went into this. What do you do when two teams are playing in the same area, but different fields? Taking into account, yes, teams that have farther travel distances. Let's say, Tampa has, a 3-match weekend. It's not uncommon for them. And there's a team traveling from 6 hours away, and there's a team traveling for an hour and a half away. We just felt that, unfortunately, we felt that the union had to step in to make things a bit more equitable, because we've had instances over the past 4 years now, where just people aren't playing nice in the sandbox. So union had to kind of step in and make some rules. I think the board developed a really good, the board, i.e. Carey, developed a really good policy on paper as to how to justify matches. And if anybody gets upset, like, you can get them changed as long as you agree and as long as the other team agrees. You come to the, you come to the schedulers, you come to your vice president and say, hey, we want to play at this time. Go, by all means, if you want to take care of your own problems, I highly encourage it. Um,
Also, the referee
yeah,
optimization,
of course.
right?
Yeah, getting all the referees in one location. If there's a D3, D2 match in the same place, and we make sure that D3 match goes first, then all of a sudden you can get the newer referee refereeing that one, having a referee there to watch them, give them feedback. Um, and then also that referee can then turn around and become an AR for the D2 match, right? The main referee. And we should already do away with shirtless beer drinkers running touch. I think everyone would be a little more happy to have a certified
Great.
assistant referee to be like, no, he did knock that on in the try zone. So just a better way to utilize our resources and really make the most of them.
The other thing I wanted to mention is that I sort of sense that many people do not know the fact that we have a tool where you can follow the games, uh, which is called Rugby Explorer, that you download to your phone, and you can follow depending on what the teams are actually inputting at the time, right? But you can actually follow the scoring in real time of the game and see who comes in, who comes out, who got a yellow card.
Yep.
So, do you want to explain that a little bit?
Yeah. So long story short, what is Rugby Explorer? It's a competition management system, right? So like Charlie said, it keeps track of scores, subs, cards, um, anything that generates data, right? And so there are two apps, right? So people are gonna, administrators of teams are familiar with the Rugby Match Day app, and so that is where someone is actually making those movements, right? Inputting the score. That's where the data is being input. And then you have the other Explorer app, which is the fan side of it, where you get to see it kind of all drawn up really nice. You get to see the tables. And if everyone keeps up with their data input, it looks really nice. Like the competition table is up there right away. You know who's in what place. And what people really don't take advantage of is make that data good, because it comes back to the players. Any player can go in and see player history, like who have you registered for in your entire rugby career. Oh, the 2025 season, you got 4 out of 8 starts, you came in off the bench 3 times. All that stuff lives there, and it lives forever. And you
I
can
know
just
you do, right?
like, yes, I'm an accountant, I love numbers. But it's great to see. Like, yes, like it is cool to look at rosters and see that, that retention, right? How many players do you have coming back after their first year? Because it's not hard to get the old heads to keep coming back, but are you
Yeah, but
getting
that's
those
more for the
rookies to come
coaches.
back in
That's
your
not for the
second year?
That's mostly for the coaches, not for the players, right?
It's
I
for
mean,
anybody who cares.
okay. I I want to mention a little tip, because if you don't know this, you're gonna download the app and you're not gonna find the championships, which is you have to be following at least one of the teams of the championship you are interested in. So if you want to follow Men D2, you have to follow one of the clubs that is actually playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think one of the best things, but unfortunately, we have not been good at this, not the clubs and not the union enforcing it, are the
Well,
standings.
we've
You-
changed that. So
Okay, hold on
if
a second.
go for it.
I'm just saying up to now, because one of the things that everybody likes to see is the standings, especially as the season progresses. Where's your team? If you're going to make the playoffs, you're not. And unfortunately, in the past at least, we've had we've gone weeks, literally, without having proper standings,
Yeah. We've gone weeks where the most accurate standings were the one on your
official
website.
standings, because you have them on my site,
Right.
but they're not official. And I also screw up now and then, so you can't really That's why they're not official, right?
Yeah.
But that would be something to the benefit of everybody to keep that thing in line and do it. I don't see any reason why you couldn't have everything done on Saturday, to be honest.
Yeah, and so you're right. It is an issue
You're
where
already
even
spending the day for
myself,
rugby, so
yeah,
just go.
it is an issue where even myself, I'm like, oh, like let me see who got this bonus point, and I find myself going to Charlie's website rather than Explorer, right, which should be official. So in case you did not know this and you're watching this, if you're watching this and you're a team administrator, you should know this. If you're watching this and you're not a team administrator, get with your team administrator and make sure they know. But preliminary rosters for league matches are now due Friday at 8 p.m. By 8 p.m. Of course, someone doesn't show up Saturday morning, you can change it, but we're asking that everyone puts in a preliminary roster so that you realize if you have any issues or not. So that way on Friday night, you can find out, oh, this player's transfer has not come through. They're not on my roster. And you're not bothering people who coach, play, and referee on Saturday morning. The second part of this is all movements and scores are due Sunday by noon. You're right. Should it be done Saturday? Absolutely. It should be done live on the field. If you are a player and it is your responsibility to enter the competition management, you should give that responsibility to someone else. But yes, those are two new deadlines. So hopefully moving forward, what's in Explorer can be official and finalized before we move on to the next competition week.
Okay, and we do have all the competitions already live on Explorer.
All schedules are in.
We also have them live on my site for a while now, and we're going to be using my site to go over this, what we're going to do today to this preview. So
you don't
it's
like my
also-
spreadsheet, Charlie?
Oh my God, no, I do not. A nightmare. So yeah, let's just use the best website we have in the country for scheduling and scores.
The most
Why we have
comprehensive.
it, and it's a good opportunity to me to like show a little bit some of the stuff that you can do on the website, but I'll be doing that as we go on. So let's start right now from the top, which would be men D2. Here we have the teams that are going to be and participating, and the first thing that is really notable is we've decreased the number of teams in this division. So we had 3 teams moving down from Division 2 to Division 3, which are Palm Beach, the Southwest Florida Hammerheads, and Jacksonville. Each one for a different reason. I'm going to just mention some of the reasons I sort of know or may suspect for those teams moving, which they may not be 100% true because it's not that easy to find these things out. But in the case of the Hammerheads, they ended the D2 season last year in very bad shape. A lot of people like not playing anymore. And I think in a responsible way, they decided, so this is not looking good. Let's like pause. Let's play in D3, which is less, depends the team you have, I guess, but it's a little bit easier.
Focus on less travel.
And yeah, and let's do
easier
that.
for smaller teams to sustainably compete.
They're not the first ones that have done this, of course. We have several teams in the past that have been moving up and down, but I think it was a responsible thing to do and give them a good opportunity to, settle in and come back probably next year. Palm Beach, I'm not sure, but it just seems to me that they tried, they did sort of the right thing to, after winning so many years D3, they tried the D2 and it sort of did not work out. So, and I don't know, it Palm Beach is sort of a small club. They typically do not have very large rosters, and so they decided to go back to where they came from, which is fine. And then we have Jacksonville. That Jacksonville had like a weird trip because they had gone. Do you remember the history of Jacksonville? the past few years?
Yes.
You want to tell it?
You tell it as best you can, Charlie, and I'll jump
Okay,
in.
so basically they had moved like 3 years ago down, or 2 years ago, from they moved down to D3, and then the following year they came back to D2, and they had a D3 team.
Yep.
I guess that's they got encouraged by I guess good numbers, and there was also a change in the in the administration, but it definitely did not work out. So they've decided to like, which I think is a good and responsible way to keep your club together, because the worst thing that can happen is because you want to do too much, then things do not work out, and it's not good.
Yeah, there's there's nothing worse than a figurehead. I'd like to say coach, right? But this isn't to like lay blame, right? I just say there's nothing worse to a team than a coach who wants it more than the players. I think that's what leads to a lot
Okay.
of that's what leads to most problems, right? Is pulling the horse forward, right? Where you want the horse to be motivated, and you just guide the horse in the direction that it wants to go. But yeah, all those 3 teams from D2 jumping down to D3. They them doing so allowed the board to enact the promotion relegation policy this year, rather than having to do what we do most of the time, which is introduce the policy in one year and then enact it the other. With these teams wanting to come down post season, right? Like it was already September when these discussions were being had. It was like, hey, you're going to come down, but if that's the case, we're enacting this policy now, and that was announced at the AGM. So good,
Do you want to explain that policy quickly, if you can?
No,
No?
I
Okay, I
can't.
don't blame you.
I can't. It's again. Shout out to Carrie. She puts all the thoughts on paper, and writes them down and makes them concise, and then
But
it's really easy
just
for the board to just look at and be like, "Yep, that's what we said. We agree with it." But basically, it's if you're blowing people out of the water in your division and it's very clear and apparent, then you're going to get bumped up. And then also it gives the board discretion. You might some teams might say we're ready to move up. And we can look at that data. We can look at those registration numbers. We can look at, substitution policies that they had. Were they getting a lot of people playing time? Are they showing that they have a robust, well-developed base? Then all right, then you for sure move up. But if you won all of your matches by 1 point using the same 15 people, it's not sustainable.
And anyway, this allows for us to have, which I really like, in D2, home and away games for everybody. I wish we could always do that. And we do have to mention, we do see the Miami Tridents in this list. And I don't really want to get into very detailed, because in what happened with Miami Tridents, because we don't have really time for that now. But I do have to say that the Miami Tridents are participating in the D2 division, but they are considered a D1 team, and this is because they played the ARP. So they will be having 5 games, I believe, right now. During the
They
season.
catch everyone once.
Yeah, but these games do not accrue points, I believe, and they will not be going to postseason.
Not in Florida.
Not in Florida. So as I said, it's really a topic that it actually is very, has a lot of moving parts, and I don't want to get into that, but just so people know that the Tridents are not competing for D2. What do you think? Which are, like, right now, what teams do you like to be playing the final?
I think Fort Lauderdale probably has a really good shot. just because they were there last year. It always is a great motivator when you lose in the finals. I think at least like I think losing in the finals is better than winning. If you win, everyone's hungover the next year, but if you lose, everyone's hungry.
Oh, it's better to lose. That's what you do with your team. Hey guys, let's lose this game, okay?
Let's lose this
try to
game
win
for
it.
next year. Let's sow our seeds. No, but just in terms of motivation, you can imagine that Fort Lauderdale will be hungry for it. I'll be, it'll be interesting to see who comes out of the
Yeah,
Bay
but
between Tampa and St.
wait.
Pete.
Hold on a second. You said they lost. They didn't lose. They won.
Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
sorry, you're
won.
right. You're
Yeah,
right. Oh my
yeah,
goodness,
yeah,
what am
it-
I saying? It's
uh,
Pelicans. Pelicans. Right.
Pelicans are the one hungry that they lost the
Sorry,
last
Pelicans are
three.
the hungry one. My fault. I confused it. I
Definitely,
switched them in my mind.
they're gonna be really hungry this year. The Pelicans.
Dude, yeah. Well, I mean, hey, we'll see who comes out between St. Pete and Tampa. That was, I know, a closer one between the two. Tampa might be looking to reload and keep that rivalry going. It's all a crapshoot, man. These teams don't play enough fall ball for me to have an opinion.
Oh man, I was gonna mention that we really have so few games in the fall that you don't really know.
No idea, man.
You
No
know,
idea.
what to think.
These people can have 15 people at training, and I wouldn't know. They can have 100, but I know that they don't.
So anyway, this year also a little change is we're going straight to finals with 1v2, right? There's no semifinals because
Sure, yeah.
the schedule
Since
was-
everyone's playing each other twice, you don't need a best of 3 to figure it out.
and just
And
so
then
people
also we kind of got shafted in the scheduling department with just the really early super regionals.
Yeah,
So
I was going to mention that.
yeah. So if you want a better schedule, stop caring about national championships.
Or let's play in the fall, man. Let's
No,
have
man,
a longer
no.
season.
We should have pressure free. We should have development focused rugby in the fall.
Okay.
I know, but we fight about this all the time.
Okay, let's move to Division 3. Oh, we have a lot of teams here, okay?
Hey, you should always have more teams on the bottom than at the top.
Of course.
The wider your base, the taller your pyramid.
Yeah, exactly. And so this one is organized like in 3 different pools, the north and the south, and then we call I don't know, did you guys call it combo or did I?
Combo,
you guys, right?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have used that name. It's pretty crappy. But those the combo
Tell me how you really feel, Charlie.
Are the second team of D2 teams. They play in one division, and we have north and south. This is a sort of very complicated schedule that you pulled off, Gomez. I am witness to that. And at the end, we're gonna have semifinals.
Quarters.
Those quarters? Are we gonna have quarters?
Yeah. Right.
I-
Yeah. Because
Okay, I got
the
it
best
wrong
team
here
gets a
then.
bye.
I got it wrong here. That we have quarters and semis and finals. Okay.
Yep.
And each
Yeah.
team, let me see, typical 6 games. Each team, I don't know if it's most teams or it's
all the teams have 6 games,
which is not really that good.
Right. I agree. And that's why we have quarterfinals.
It is okay. So they play 7 and okay.
So most teams will play 7 and someone's going to play 9.
So this one is sort of wide open, I guess. We have a few, and just to point out, the D3 teams from the D2 sides, only one of them is able to go to postseason, right?
Correct. One team out of the 4 is getting a playoff berth.
But obviously, it's going to be more competitive because these D2 teams that are coming down, obviously, they have the experience.
For sure.
From D2. So I think it's going to be a very interesting one. And
oh, yeah.
Who knows? There are several candidates to end up in that final. Do we know where the finals are going to be yet?
I know where they're not going to be. I know all the places that are booked on that weekend.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm sure the board will be releasing any final details when they're available.
Yeah, like 2 weeks before. Okay.
Yeah.
Just don't make me go and check out the field, okay?
Don't worry. I'm pretty sure the location won't require it.
So I don't know anything else to say about D3 right now.
Honestly, it was making your like you said, it was a really complicated schedule to pull out, but I really appreciate the collaborative effort that all the D3 teams put in. There were several different ways to skin this cat, and with your help, I was able to make a nice comprehensive video, lay it all out there for all the teams, and say, you know, here are your three binary choices. Tell me what you prefer. And everyone kind of came together. And then like the one or two people who voted the other way, I was able to have a nice, long, drawn out conversation with them, and get them to come around. But what's really interesting about this division, very, very interesting, I think, is that there's one weekend in the middle of February where all the teams from the North play all the teams from the South. And whichever division wins more of those games gets an extra team in the playoffs.
That's a lovely date. February 14th.
Valentine's Day. Yeah. Come on. Come on. The
One thing I know,
right
there's going to be a lot of girlfriends on the sidelines and wives.
It's going to really be all. It's good. I'm hoping for a great, great day of competitive rugby. With a playoff spot on the line, and I think it's going to really build that interdivision relationships, right? It's it's the 5 teams that are closest to you, and 4 teams, right? And you're for once you're hoping that they win.
Yeah. I'm just going to show this feature on the site just so people know, which I think is very useful. You can go to and check out any of the weekends where we have rugby and see who's playing. On this date, Valentine's, okay, we have almost 20 games. So you can see everybody who's playing. It also includes at what time they are playing, although this, it may not be 100% correct because then they change dates and I don't find out. But you can see all the divisions that are playing and where and what time, who's the ref. If you don't know who's the ref, you can click on the ref and you can find out. And you can actually.
Who doesn't know who Randall Johnson is?
No, but this is.
I'm messing with you, Charlie.
This is Randall Johnson. Okay, yeah. No, I'm confused. That was another Johnson. Okay. I just wanted to show off that. So let's go to the next division, women, D2. For this season, we have a nice addition. We are the Lady Hammerheads, which they are playing in this championship, but I'm not 100% sure because when they do these things, it gets a little bit murky to know exactly week to week what happens, but they are competing as a D3 team.
Yes.
So I'm just not sure,
So they have.
Go ahead. One thing I would love to see on the union's website is for each championship, a description, because each championship is a little bit different. They have quarters or they don't have. They have semis, or they do things like this where they add a team that is not really from this division. It would really be nice to have like those things written out, explaining my understanding is they don't have the same amount of games as everybody else.
Correct.
And because basically they're just friendlies, and they say they're going to be going to regionals, but I don't think there's actually a D3 regionals for women. Is there? Do you know?
I don't know. I
just don't recall seeing D3 women at regionals, and I've been to a few.
I don't think so.
It's really a great thing. They've been working hard, and really nice to see another team joining the women. It's great for everybody. And they're not listed here, but the Pelicans women's are also getting together. And we also have the Miami Sirens here in Miami, which they're just not there yet to compete at 15s, but hopefully they'll get there. And this one also goes. This one actually goes straight to final. They're not
Yeah,
doing semis
top
because,
two.
huh?
The top two teams go to the
Because they,
go to finals.
I think over the years they realized that the top two teams are gonna be there, no matter what. Because
Yeah, it's do we want to does the fourth place team really want to travel after?
I would think that they would want to still play, one more game because typically they play really small amount of games, but they go. That's fine.
So now, I mean, this year the women's division has 7 matches, right? So one more than we're even getting the D3 men's. You're right. Like have their seasons been not maybe comprehensive in the past for sure. But Jen Fasano is doing a great job as the women's VP. They have this nice fully loaded schedule. I think a couple of the women's teams are even picking up extra stuff on the side. So great to see. All 4 of those teams are crushing it. I mean, even Orlando, like, we went out to Mobile, Alabama, in November, and Orlando women's went up there, and so in mass too. I mean, they had a bunch of players out there, and it was great to see them. It was great to see a team from Florida get out of Florida.
Yeah.
But all around, all the women's teams, they're the ones playing the most rugby, and good on them.
What do you mean the most?
I see them doing a lot. Saw them all doing a lot this fall.
Oh, in the fall. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few of them. Yes, correct. Okay, that's women. Let's move to college. And we're going to start with the higher division that we have now, which is
The
D1A.
highest in all the land.
In college is D1A.
D1A.
Now we have a D1A team, which is STU. This has been their plan all along, I believe. And this is
their plan is to win national championships.
Man, what problem do you have? It's
nice. I have no problem.
You have never won one.
I
believe you have never won one, or have you?
No.
As a coach or player. Well, it's pretty nice, man. I've been to the nationals, and the guys are really happy.
Yeah, I bet. To each their own. To each their own.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. That I know for sure. Anyway, so STU has moved on to D1A because they can, and that was their plan. They've had the schedule I have posted, I have to revise it because they are not in a specific conference, is my understanding. It's called D1A Independent. So basically, they just have to play a certain amount of games, and depending on how they do, they move on to nationals. Yeah. So far, I think they have not won any game against these are the D1A teams. But I have actually seen the one they played here, or did I see both of them? I can't remember now. But the scores that you see, they look a little bit high. There's another game that is not included here because it was not part of the conference. But first year, I expect them not to win many games or any at all, maybe.
What's wrong with you, Charlie? Come on.
Well, yeah, I mean the first year, man. I'm
still pulling for them. You still gotta.
No, of course, and really, listen. I think they're a really enjoyable team to watch. They have, they did really well last year. They won the D1AA championship in a really epic fashion.
Yeah,
if you saw it.
Kick chase in the last minute. Oh no, not even the last minute, the last second.
Yeah.
So spectacular grounding.
And they also won the sevens, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but who cares about sevens?
Yeah, who cares about sevens? Some people do. But they're very interesting to watch because you never know what they're gonna do. It's there's some really creative guys there, for sure. So we hope them well, and they also this is just them, so we don't have too much to talk. And moving to our local championship, the FCC Division 1, we're gonna have 2 divisions this year. as last year?
I would say the most consistent year after year competition.
Probably. Give me 1 second. I have to fix something here.
Charlie. Don't you know you're the better looking one of the podcast? We can't rely on this face.
I ran out of battery. Then give me 1 second. I'm gonna remove myself, and you can just go.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just talk about college, and then when Charlie comes, we can abruptly move on. But like I said, the most consistent division year after year. It had a lot of good, solid leadership with Kirk Swanner as the commissioner. He set forth a lot of policies, a lot of structure, and Murray Alford, the new commissioner, has done a great job of picking up where Kirk left off. No changes other than obviously STU left, and all the colleges were like, well, we lost a varsity South Florida team. We need to replace them with another varsity South Florida team. And that's how MAU got pulled up into D1AA. So comprehensive competition. Everyone plays each other at least once. You play your division twice. Semis and finals. Should be pretty exciting. It's always the tightest competition every year. The most amount of games determined by 7 points or less. So always great to watch all of these teams play. Welcome back, Charlie.
Thank you. It was a battery problem because I'm using the fancy camera. What do you think? I don't know if you listened to that interview I did with Murray. Oh, and by the way, let me just say, I did invite all the officers for each of these divisions, but I just invited them yesterday, so nobody could come today. Hopefully, during the season, we're going to get them on. But it was mostly my fault because I came up with this sort of a last minute, and that's Gomez's fault. What do you think of what he said about his goal to get a D1A conference in Florida?
Yeah, a rising tide lifts all boats. I think the only way it happens is if you have that whole conference. I think the only way that happens is if all teams in the conference have paid coaches. And so it's gonna take some time or a lot of money all of a sudden. But I don't necessarily see any rationale or any reason to need to. Like I always kind of push back on Kirk on this. I'm like, well, what's the point of going D1A? And he always kind of said, well, it's for access to better referees. I said, okay, but doesn't it cost more? And he said, yes. I was like, well, then what's the point? But I mean, hey, lofty goals, right? Shoot for the moon. If you miss, you'll land amongst the stars.
Yeah, long-term goals also. We'll see. And what do you think about the competitiveness of this group?
Oh, well, while you were gone, I talked about how this is year after year the most competitive division, most amount of games determined by 7 points or less. Really excited to watch everyone play.
I'm really excited to see what the sideline whisper is going to say.
You can listen to the people on the outside, or you can listen to your heart.
Okay. Another thing I just wanted to mention that the numbers of players registered that you see on the screen, they're from December, from mid-December when I was able to get them from the union. They probably changed a little bit now. Congratulations to you as the coach of Florida State for always having the most amount of players.
Anyone can do it. There's no secrets. I've given the method to do it. It's on YouTube.
Just go and do it. Okay, D2, which we have 7 teams here, including one from STU that has entered a second team, which I think was a good idea.
For sure. There's, you only get 23 players in one match, so
a lot of logistics.
You got more than 23 players. You need more than one match.
Yeah.
Yeah, D two is a bit of a mystery to me. I got to see Ave Maria up close and personal for the first
Oh, you
time.
did?
They came up to Tallahassee. Yeah, it's just a really
They,
big mystery when people
they have a
aren't
new
playing.
coach. They have a new coach this
They
year,
do
right?
have a new coach. I believe he was an assistant coach for them last year, so he's not new to the program. Yeah, I mean, I'm always rooting for the boys in blue at UNF. Hoping they can maybe pull a back to back. Embry Riddle's got a ton of registered players.
Yeah.
So I know they've got a solid coach there, who's pretty committed. Um, so maybe they make some waves in their second year in the competition. Good to see them back. Um, UM's got Gerardo helping them out, so something.
Gerard.
Yeah. So maybe
They have improved this year. I get to
yeah,
see
yeah,
them
for
sort
sure.
of.
And they've got a bunch of good kids. They you know, say what you want about Miami, but it is an attractive place for people from the Northeast to come down, people from the Midwest to come down to. And guess what people in those areas play in high school?
What?
They play rugby. So um so yeah, like I said, D2 is going to be very interesting. Excited to see what happens. Haven't heard a peep out of Eckerd or FIU in the fall. So
FIU, I know, was still dragging their issues from the past season, having really trouble getting numbers.
yeah.
So,
Tale as
uh,
old as time.
okay. We did not mention that we will probably have for the FCC D1 live streams as we usually have. Uh, I will try to make them known. So if you want to tune in, that's a great thing. I think they did. That was Kirk. Was it Kirk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
No, just in case you want to take credit because he's gone, so you can take the
No,
credit now.
of course not.
Okay, so then we have we're done with all the senior people. Now we have the youth. I also invited the chairman of the union, but I guess he couldn't make it either. Very late invitation, so it's on me. On the youth side, we have the two groups: the high school groups, U19s and 16s, and the younger ones. So on the high school side, I would say we are sort of like not doing progress. This year we're going to have one team less than last year. Fort Lauderdale, they just couldn't.
Isn't it 2 teams less?
No, we had 7 last year.
I thought Okapi had 2 sides.
Well, okay, you're right.
I know.
You're right. Okay, but there's still
You got to recognize when teams
yeah,
make
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that effort.
Yeah, the Fort Lauderdale bunch, they were so brave, man. They played all their games. They did, they showed up with 15 players and just.
Oh yeah,
I
I've got one
really,
of those kids is at FSU now. They're tough as nails, man. I'm sorry,
oh
2
yeah,
of them are at FSU now, and
and they played their
tough
heart
as
out.
nails, man.
And the group of coaches, they were pushing hard, but I guess it's a little bit of a mystery what is going on at this level, because it's like we had a peak back in 2015, 17.
Oh, I mean, go back to even in 2010. I remember there was a bunch of just individual schools that had teams.
At some point
Like
we had like 3 or 4 schools. The schools are all gone. The last one was that we
Cardinal
lost
Gibbons.
last year, Gibbons. And funny fact, 6 teams is exactly how the high school started back in 2005. The first championship had 6 teams. So that sort of says something. And it's sort of a hard thing to resolve. Why are we not growing? we really have to put, some time, effort, and money into trying to figure this out. Uh, so in this division, I think they have a home and away also scheduled because of the 6 teams, so that's good. And of course, Okapi always looking good, uh, as they have been in the past year. So we'll see how this one goes. They're gonna have quarterfinals, and as you see there, well, the finals being played in Western. On the U16 side, we just have 4 teams. This is part of this problem we have, that we have like gaps, because you would think that, or you would want for any U19 team to have a U16 beneath, right? Because
yeah, it makes sense. I was really shocked that it wasn't Wellington that was one of those 4.
Well, Wellington and Boca, which is not on the
Oh,
list.
and Boca. Geez, that's Jacksonville at the top. My goodness.
But they've been dragging this issue now for a couple of years, and Wellington and Boca, they're gonna do a Barbarian team and play, together. They're not on this schedule because they're not gonna be playing for the championship. It's gonna be like friendlies. But yes, it's something that we have to try to get it better. And then on the youth side, U14s and under, what they typically do is they have festivals where they
Jamboree
get
days. Yeah.
all
As it
together.
should be.
Sometimes, typically like here in the South Florida are the big ones, and then on the west side they also do some among the Tampa and St. Pete area and surroundings, Sarasota. But they have a pretty intense schedule. They have like I think I counted, it was like 12 around 12 festivals during the season.
Wow, that's a bit much, but hey.
What? You don't think it's a lot?
I said that's a bit much.
Why? I was yeah,
12 weekends. Geez Louise.
Yeah, poor parents,
Yeah.
But these are really awesome events, because typically you have a lot of kids and it's really fun.
That's what it's all about.
And listen, the same way in other divisions, you want, the division like you have in college, the D1 and 2, you want more teams in the 2 to support. This is like where it all starts, With that being said, registration numbers are down this year by a little bit. I haven't seen them like right now, but we had like 900 players last year, and we're around 600 now and something. So that's a big dip.
Yeah, all across the board on the adult side, numbers are down as well. But I'm not, even though I tend to be a pessimist, I'm just telling myself, we'll watch tomorrow and Friday. Those numbers are going to explode when people realize they have a match on Saturday. Fingers crossed.
We actually forgot the college women. You're gonna
well, they don't play real rugby in the spring. I'm just kidding. Sevens is real rugby.
Well, this division of college women, I think it was like really hit hard when the pandemic came along, and they are not yet back because
I wouldn't agree. It's been 6 years. If you're still citing COVID as a reason for not having grown, then I think you're a bit delayed in your growth. I think
one of the reasons
what has curtailed their growth as of late is playing fall rugby. If you get, specifically for the colleges, right? in college, rugby should kind of follow the school year, right? Like, when does school get out? In the spring. So when should you be finishing up
Okay.
rugby? In the spring. So these teams, they come in, and imagine being told, hey, first week of school, you have a match next weekend, right? Like, it's Labor Day weekend, and then after that you're playing.
There was a reason. This is sort of new. It was for the past 2 years, right? That
Yes.
they are
Yep.
playing in the fall.
Hmm.
And the reason they play in the fall is because they decided to move to NCR.
Correct.
NCR, is it? Yes, NCR.
Yes. Yep.
And do you know why that was decided? What was the thinking?
The thinking was they wanted to get more matches. At the time, it was looking like the division, the women were going to be split up, and it was essentially going to be just FSU, UCF, and UF kind of by themselves.
Yeah.
And so more power to them, right? They stuck together, and they found a solution to their problem, right? They weren't going to get enough matches, right? 4 matches between just those 3 teams is definitely not enough rugby. So they said, hey, what can we do to find more rugby? And then this was the solution presented to them. Like I said, it's really tough when you're performance focused at the start of the year to recruit and retain, because you don't have any leeway for there's no margin for error. And you can't, that's not fun. And people aren't going to stick around if it's not fun.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of great administrators and leadership amongst these teams. So they've got a pretty robust sevens schedule for the spring.
It's not that Gomez. It's not that robust right now. For what I know, there's 3 tournaments.
It's not bad. 3 times as many as the men's college teams.
Sevens. 3 sevens tournament. So you go.
So lots of opportunities to go play 15s all the other time.
Yeah, but they're not. Nobody's playing 15s. I asked a few teams today if they were gonna have any plans, because I mean, I really think that the college woman has to be looked at and see what is the best right now. Because when you were mentioning, those 3 teams a few years ago, they were very much stronger than the other ones, right? That's why they were playing separately.
It was no. It was.
Listen, because if you have 5 teams,
I'll say this in particular. One team would not join the division with those other 3. And chose to stay in Division 2 so they could go to a national championship.
Okay.
But I'm not going to name names.
Well, okay. Fine. But here we are, okay?
Because of that.
I would think, they decided to do the 7 things, which I don't think it's great.
They didn't decide it. That's the NCR model.
Oh, they are playing 7s under NCR?
Yes, NCR's model is a fall 15s championship and a spring 7s championship. So these tournaments are qualifiers to make it to the NCR CRC tournament in April.
Well, maybe we have to look at the NCR and see if it's... Couldn't we just have an FCC woman here in Florida? Wouldn't it make sense now? College is so complicated, man, and specifically this the women's college, it was so hard for me to be able to follow it.
I'll tell you one thing. I don't think there's a equivalent of D1AA for men's as there is for women's in CRAA, which is what the men are in.
Yeah, I think there is.
No, it's only Division 1 and Division 2.
Okay, then.
And Division 1 is the D1A.
So strong, very well. They can go on just to be D2, man.
Okay.
FCC,
D2.
Do
you know where the D2? Do you know where the only other D2 women's division is?
No. But we make our own division here.
There's just one other division.
Listen, I'm saying to have a Florida FCC woman Division 2. Why not?
Yes, I think
I'm just
yeah,
thinking.
we should. I am a big proponent of every team in Florida having a competitive 15 schedule between the months of January and April.
Yeah, because right now these 5 teams and the other ones that are missing are and FIU. Am I missing any other one? No.
STU.
Oh, STU, correct. STU, and FIU. I checked with them. They just don't have enough players to play 15s right now.
Mhm.
But these 5 teams, they can have a very nice spring championship home and away and play, 8 games.
And they're all within like 4 hours of each other.
And just play, nationally, D2. Who cares?
Who cares about nationals?
They care. Anyway.
That's who.
So, yeah, I think this one is definitely has to be looked at, I think. We'll probably get Liz to one of the podcasts and discuss this. So that is it, pretty much.
We did it.
We don't have the Sharks anymore, so no professional rugby. Unfortunately,
who could have seen that coming?
Yeah, I still like to use as a background the field, as I'm a field freak. This view, man, I miss that. But it is what it is.
I've been to 3 MLR games, and all of the teams are gone.
Really?
I went to an Atlanta versus Toronto match. I went to New Orleans versus New York. Both are gone. And then I went to Sharks and San Diego. I am bad news bears for MLR teams. Don't let me around. Maybe I should drive up to Charlotte.
Well, that one is looking good now. So, okay, so
got the money. So
let's just quickly mention that hopefully this Sunday we'll be starting with week 1 of the season. We're gonna have a bunch of games. We will be trying to review maybe 1 or 2 games if we have highlights, and inviting the coaches and captains. Maybe have some special guests. We'll go over all the scores and standings.
And hey, get your scores in, get your subs in, film your matches, post it on YouTube. Give us content so that we can talk about you. If you're filming your match and your coach is not posting it on YouTube, tell them to grow a pair. If you're scared that other teams watching your film is going to make you lose, then just be better.
Be the best.
Just be better. Every team runs the same dummy switch pop. Like, you're not fooling anyone on this. And if oh no, they're gonna know that you guys fake the front pod in the line out, and oh no, and you guys roop around and do the crazy maul play. Who just fucking run it? Just do it better.
That's a good advice.
I only give good advice, Charlie. You can either listen to my advice or listen to my criticism, and I'm much nicer when I give one.
Okay, so that is Sunday, 7 p.m.s.
Sunday, the rugby wrap-up with Charlie.
Yeah, and we're going to need sponsors, so if you are interested in supporting this, contact me, please, before I contact you. And I guess that's it. And we actually made it exactly in 1 hour. As we planned.
Home time for dinner.
Okay, thank you very much, Mike. Good luck in your season. Are you playing? You're not playing yet this weekend, right?
No. 24th.
Okay, so we'll see you on Sunday. Valentina, gracias. And that's it. This is Tifro, talking Florida rugby occasionally and every Sunday, hopefully.
Send all your hate mail to Charlie.
Bye, Mike. Thank you.
See you, Charlie.